Today, let's walk through the steps of making a corner triangle bookmark. Welcome, I do sewing and DIY related content, and today we have a brand new pattern that is coming out, and this is the corner triangle bookmark. Now, I did one of these without any interfacing, and then I did a second with interfacing, but the best part about all of this is there's a full pattern available. So click the link below if you want that, but we'll go ahead and get started. So you will want two different types of cotton material. This has specifically been tested for cotton. This is not going to be for stretch fabrics. Now, for interfacing, you would want a very lightweight interfacing that would go on the back. You do not have to use, though, it would be completely optional because as I said, I did one without interfacing and it worked just as well. But if you have interfacing on hand and you want to make it a little bit more sturdy, you could definitely do that. Now in the pattern, there will be a pattern piece to cut out the square that you will need, but if you don't want to do that and you'd rather just cut it out yourself, you're going to be cutting out a 3.5 by 3.5 inch square, 2 with the main type of fabric you are using. I'm going to be using this orange fabric, and then 1 will be made of that contrasting fabric, so mine's going to be blue in this case. Now this is a great scrap buster. You could also just get a couple fat quarters if you wanted to start over and then have some extra fabric on hand for the amount of fabric you would need. So once you have that cut out, those two pieces of the main, the one contrasting and some interfacing if needed, we can go ahead and bring all this over to our iron. Now if you are using the interfacing, the first step is to apply that. So I have my interfacing here. One side of your interfacing will feel rough, so we are going to be using that fusible interfacing and matching it to the wrong side of just one piece of the main fabric square, and then you can press that out, and I like to use sometimes a pressing cloth just to make sure that I'm really getting on there, and then making sure that it is applied, it's all fused, and we're then good to go, and we can now set this piece of fabric aside once the interfacing is attached. Now we're going to take our contrasting fabric, and what I'm going to do is fold this, so find the opposite corners here, and I'm just going to be folding this up so that I create a triangle. So now that I have this triangle, I am going to just press this so that it really kind of holds its shape and holds that fold. And then I'm just going to be adding 2 clips, one on either side, and I'm just going to baste this to stay in place. So by basting, I'm going to take a seam along one edge and then a seam along the other edge. And when you go over to your sewing machine, we're just using our regular needle. I'm just using a regular presser foot, and we are going to be doing this in a straight stitch. Now for basting, you want to make that stitch length be as long as possible. So I'm just going to put this on, and then I'm just going to be taking around 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, so very narrow. Really, this is just to hold the triangle in place for us when we go to actually build our bookmark. So I'm just going to go all the way down, and then when I get to that edge, I'm going to keep my needle in the fabric, and then I'm going to lift up the presser foot, turn it 90 degrees, put my presser foot back down, and then continue sewing. So I'm just pivoting my fabric at that corner. So here is what my triangle looks like. It's now all nice and held in place. And then be sure to set your stitch length back to the regular stitch length. Now I'm going to go over to the rest of my pieces. So I am going to be starting with one of the main pieces of fabric, so specifically the one that has the interfacing if you used it. And I'm just going to put that down on my mat here, and then I'm going to match with right sides together this triangle piece with that main piece. And then what we're going to be doing is taking the other main fabric piece and matching it with right sides together down. So we've almost created a little sandwich where we have the main fabric and the contrasting and then the main again. And then I'm just going to clip all of this in place, especially noting where those triangle edges are matching, so clipping those in place, making sure it's holding. And then on this edge on the left hand side, I need to mark a gap. So I'm going to be marking around 1.5 inch gap on the side, and that's going to be allowing me to turn this once we sew it, and we can turn it right side out. I like to denote my start and stop with 2 pins or 2 clips. It just makes it a little easier for me to see visually. But again, if you want to mark this with a pen or with chalk, that could be totally another way to do it. So I'm going to be starting at those 2 double clips, going all the way around and stopping and then leaving this gap. So that's going to allow me to turn this. So now I'm going to go back over to my sewing machine. I have those double clips. I'm going to remove them since I know that that's where I'm starting. And then I'm just going to put my presser foot down, and I'm going to take around 1/4 inch seam allowance here and then just begin the process of sewing. I'm being sure to backstitch at the beginning as well as the end, and then when I get to that corner I am going to pivot once again. So put my needle in, rotate my fabric 90 degrees with the presser foot up, then put that back down and just continue on my way sewing. And do this all the way around the little bookmark. And then when I get to the second double clips, I'm going to stop, be sure to backstitch, and then I've sewn my entire seam. So I have that gap at the top, and now what I'm going to do is just clip these corners. So at each of those corners, I'm just going to clip some of this extra fabric. So going through, very carefully clipping it, not clipping into the seam itself, but just removing some of this extra. I went ahead and removed it down to about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance just to get a little easier to turn. And now I'm just going to turn this right side out through that gap we had at the top. So we have that opening. I'm just going to very carefully push my fabric through. And when you're pushing your fabric through, you may get to a point where you want to use like a tool to sort of help you. You could definitely use something with like a blunt end, such as a pen or a chopstick. If you use something like a pen or a pencil, just be careful it doesn't like get on your fabric. But as you can see here, I'm just pushing it through, and here is what my bookmark currently looks like. So we're very close to being done. We just have that little opening that we need to take care of, and to do that, we're just going to top stitch all the way around. Now I want this to be as nice and smooth as possible, so I am going to go ahead and just press it out, and then at that opening that we have, I'm just going to put up a clip so that it holds it in place, and then I'm going to take this back over to my sewing machine so I can just do one more square stitch all the way around. Now for the seam allowance for this, I did do about 1/8 of an inch so that it's a little bit smaller, so that it's not like too large to see. So this is what it looks like, and then I'm just going to start on my way sewing. So I'm being sure I'm backstitching at the beginning as well as the end. And then when I get down to that corner, I'm going to do the exact same method of pivoting. Now the one thing that did occur, because of how we have these corners, there is a lot of fabric there even though we tried to clip them. So it may be a little hard once you pivot and put your presser foot back down. The stitch may just not want to start, as you can see mine is here. So my biggest piece of advice for this is it's actually caused by the presser foot. So you're going to lift up your presser foot, and then just put something behind there, like it could be cardboard, it could be a little ruler, and then you can start sewing, and because your presser foot's level, it's going to be much easier to get over that little bump. And then you can just repeat the steps all the way around. So whenever you find it a spot where it's a little hard to get started, just put something behind the presser foot, and that will help you kind of get over the hump, and you can continue on your way. So here is what our bookmark looks like. It looks really nice. I really like the white with how it contrasted against the different fabrics. So I'm just going to trim off these threads, and then once you have that done, your bookmark is complete. So it's ready to be used. You have that nice little pocket, so it's not going to damage your pages of your book. The back looks really clean and neat as well. That opening that we had, it's completely taken care of, and it fits really nicely on most standard size books. I did like the small book here, and then I did test this out with some larger ones, and either way you go, it works really well. So this was the one that has the interfacing. If you have it where you do not use any interfacing, it still does the exact same job. It's just slightly less sturdy on the back, but depending on what you're using it for, that could be totally fine. Now again, there is a full Etsy pattern available for this with that pattern piece. So this could be a really fun project to make for gifts for others, to have for your summer reading list, or you can make lots of them and just start to sell them at craft shows too. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I will include the link down below, and let me know what you want to see next and what you're currently reading. Thanks for watching.